Alrighty, welcome to the channel, Garden Grime and Timber Time. We like to harvest from the garden and preserve our foods and make things from scratch. I don't do a lot of baking, but I made egg noodles last year and they were wonderful. So that's what I'm going to be making today. I have a whole bunch of fresh eggs in the middle of summer, so I've got a bunch of eggs right now. All you need for making egg noodles is the eggs, flour, a little bit of salt. I use sea salt. I really like this stuff. I use that instead of like regular table salt, and it adds really good flavor when I make breads and things like that. So I've got my cookie sheets that I'll lay out the dough and let it dry on those. Of course, my eggs. I have this attachment that will go on my mixer, and it has the center one that rolls the dough flat if I want to use that, but this one I use for the cutting. So it has like the little slots in there for cutting the pasta instead of using a knife. Rolling pin, so I'll roll the dough out also. This has been around for a very long time. This was my grandmother's, so a little sentimental value there. Let's get started. So I'm going to just do 2 cups of flour, and I just use a butter knife to mirror the top flat. Set that aside. I will probably make this in multiple small batches because it's been a while. I don't know how much I'm going to get out of one batch. And it's just 2 cups of flour, half a teaspoon of salt, 3 eggs, and water as needed. Okay, so I was using the mixer and I didn't really like how it was just flopping all over the place, so I changed to doing the bowl. I got several that I've already made up by hand. So this is just the flour, salt, and the eggs. I noticed that an extra egg yolk made the dough a little better. So I'm just doing it old school way, old fashioned way, and mixing it by hand. So I'm gonna start kneading this just in the bowl, and then I'll move it to the counter. Okay, so it's mostly all stuck together in the bowl, so now I'll set the bowl aside. Just a very light dusting of flour on the countertop, and I'll sit here and knead it by hand. Takes about probably 15-20 minutes, so be right back. Okay, welcome back. So I've got 5 dough balls here. The first one kind of feels a little firm still, so I'm going to hope that comes out good still. But this one, the other ones are much more tender to the touch, so those will be better. And I found that instead of just 3 eggs and a yolk made them more tender instead of having to add more water. So I'm going to open these up and roll them out a little bit. I've already cleaned off all the old flour. I'm going to, and because there was chunks of dry dough and I don't want that in the new dough. So I'm just going to cut this into quarters. And start rolling it out. It's just lightly floured on the counter. rolled out some, and then I'll use my machine to make the noodle strips. Okay, so I got the dough flattened out into like a little oval. So I'm gonna put it in the mixer. I started on the roller section, and I do it 2 times on each setting as I go through it. And I'll drop it down to the next setting. And I'll do that on each setting, and starting at the highest and go down to number 5. There's a couple skinnier settings after that, but I like the number 5 setting. And then I'll put it back on the big setting, and then it goes through the little cutter. See that? And you have beautiful pasta. And then I'll lightly flour this so it doesn't stick together. And I'll put them on the cookie sheet to dry in a little nest, and these I will save either in the freezer or in a Ziploc bag. Okay, so I am going to cook up the batch that was a little tough, I guess you could say, on the dough. I'm going to just cook those up tonight with our dinner. And this is the completed product. I've let it dry for about 45 minutes or so. And I'm going to throw those in the pot of boiling water. They'll cook about 2 to 3 minutes. And we'll give it a taste test. Okay, I got some noodles cooked. We're gonna do the taste test. Here is what those beautiful noodles look like. Very good. A little thicker, what you would buy in the store. They're very meaty and hearty. So, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe and keep helping our channel grow. And have a great night.